Hey y'all, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. And why are intros so difficult? Like, all I'm trying to say is, hey, welcome to my channel. Let's get to the video.
That's good.
So with that being said, let's get into the video. So in this video, I'm going to use products that I've purchased and never used before, meaning I go to Ulta, I see things I like, I buy them, and then I come home and stuff them in a drawer and never touch them. And then I open my drawer and I'm like, oh, I've never used this before. So we're gonna test it out today. I have quite a few products, foundation, concealer, eyebrow pencils. I'm kind of skeptical about using different eyebrow pencils because I have one that I just love and never stray away from. So we're gonna test out a few different things today. The only thing I am missing is an eyeshadow palette, because normally when I buy eyeshadow palettes, I come home and I try them right away. I have some face primers, illuminizers, things that make my face look really dewy, and I'm about that. So we have a lot of products to try out today. Some are drugstores, some are high-end, mainly drugstore for sure, because I do go there a lot just to get like lashes, things like that. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, first product I'm gonna start off with is the Garnier Skin Moisturizer. It says it is a Glow Boost Illuminating Moisturizer Hydrant Illuminant. So we're gonna see how this wears. I do love me a good moisturizer because these days my skin is a little bit more dry. So let's see how this wears. Looks like it kind of has a peach tint to it, which I don't have a problem with as long as it's not like super pigmented. I just don't want it to change my face completely. Okay, now that my moisturizer's on, I'm going to play around with this Physicians formula called Spotlight. It is an illuminating primer base, so it'll be good to hold on my foundation. Like I said, I've never used this before. The packaging's super cute, so who knows, it might be good. It's kind of like a chrome tint, so I can only imagine that it's gonna make my foundation look super dewy, which is what I like. Okay, now that my primer's on, I'm just going to take a damp beauty blender and kind of just press that into the skin, kind of helps it melt. One tip I do have to get a very good foundation application is prepping the skin. If you have dry skin, your foundation's gonna look very cracky and not as moisturized. If you have very oily skin, your foundation's gonna slip around a lot. It's not gonna stay very long. So I do recommend prepping your skin. So if you do have very oily skin, not to overdo on the moisturizer and primer and stuff like that. And if you do put a primer, let it sit for a couple minutes so that it can become tacky to where your foundation will stick. And if you do have oily skin, make sure to always set it with some sort of setting powder. Not too much, but just enough to not make your foundation slip around. And now that that primer's on, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with foundation. Luckily, I found a foundation that matches my tan right now. It is the Maybelline Dream Mousse foundation in the shade Classic Ivory. It says ivory, which I think would be really light, but it is kind of dark. So hopefully it will match my tan. If not, I'll just be a tad darker, no big deal. So with a flat concealer brush, I'm just going to dip into that and kind of put it on my face where I want. And then I will blend it out. So I can already say this foundation isn't the easiest to blend. Maybe it's just not creamy enough, I'm not really sure, but I'm having to kind of work to blend it out. So that's not a plus for me. Okay, now that my foundation's on, I can definitely say it is not full coverage, more of a medium coverage because it is still a little sheer. And if you know me, I don't like sheer. I like definitely full coverage foundation. So I would not purchase this again. Next, I'm going to go in with the NYX Sculpt and Highlight Duo. It has a highlighting and a contour shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this for my contour. So to apply my contour, I'm not going to use the applicator that it comes with. I'm actually going to apply the product to a small blending brush and put that on the areas I'm wanting to contour. With the same damp beauty blender, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out. Okay, now that I've got my contour on, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some concealer. And in my drawer stashed away, I found the CoverGirl True Blend Concealer. It honestly looks very similar to the Shape Tape packaging, which could lead to something good. Hopefully it applies really well and works really well like the Shape Tape, because we could find a less expensive concealer here if it does. I'm just going to apply that to my under eyes and the center of my forehead for some highlighting. Okay, so it definitely has the same consistency as the Shape Tape, maybe a little bit lighter and not so thick. Now I'm going to take the highlighter portion of the Contour and Highlight Duo and highlight just on the inner corners of my eye and maybe just a little in the center of my forehead. Now to set my face, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution setting powder, and I'm not sure of the color. It is definitely not translucent. It has a bit of a tint to it, so I'd say more like banana powder. I'm gonna dip into it with my damp beauty blender and set my under eyes. And now I'm going to go ahead and bake under where I contoured. Okay, now that I'm done baking, I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this cute little Ulta palette. It comes with a little applicator, which I don't use. And I'm gonna go in with this green shimmery shade and apply that all over my lid. It is called Garden Party. I'm just gonna take a little blending brush and spritz it with some Fix Plus and dip into that green shade. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do for my eyes. It just matches the green accents on my shirt, so it'll do for today. I did find a liner. It is the Tarteist liner, and it is a pencil. I don't really use pencils anymore. I kind of use felt tips or vinyl liner, but this is what I found in my drawer, so this is what we're gonna use. I'm just gonna make a thin line on the top layer so I can apply some lashes and they'll be seamless. I never apply too thick of liner because I don't like that look, but in this case, I just applied just a little more just to give it a little bit more edge. gonna go ahead and apply liner to my top and bottom waterlines. Okay, for mascara, I did not have any mascara in my drawer, so I'm just going to go in with the Lancome mascara.
That's good.
I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay, now that my lashes are on, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this Too Faced gold glitter liner that I found. I'm just gonna put that over top of the black liner that I put on before I put my lashes on. Okay, now that my lashes are done, I'm gonna go ahead and sweep away this bake and warm up my face a little bit with some bronzer. I didn't have a bronzer, obviously, so I'm using this Ulta Beauty little palette, and it has a bronzer and blush in it, and I'm just gonna go in with that bronzer shade. It's actually super pigmented, so I'm pretty impressed with it. Now I'm gonna take that blush shade and apply blush. Okay, for brows, I found this Revlon eyebrow pencil in the shade Soft Brown. It's kind of a thicker applicator. It's not too thin, so I'm not used to this. I'm used to like a little thin, precise pencil brush. So we'll see how this applies, and yeah. Just taking the spoolie on the other end, I'm just gonna brush through them. Okay, so I actually really like how this pencil applies. This might be one of my new favorites. I'm gonna set it aside so I'll definitely use it more. I didn't have a highlight stashed away that I've never used, so I'm going to find the next thing, which is this palette Blushing in Bali, and I've only used this a handful of times, so I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Glisten. I'm just gonna be taking a fan brush and spritzing it with some Fix Plus and going in with that shade. I'm gonna take a small flat brush and spritz some Fix Plus and dip into that same shade and highlight my brow bone. And also for lips, I didn't have anything that I haven't touched into because I love lips. They are my favorite thing to do. So I'm going to go in with this NYX lip pencil in the shade Pale Pink and line my lips. I'm gonna go over it with the shade Butter from ColourPop. And top it off with this metallic color from Sephora It's like a peachy color. This is the ColourPop setting spray, and I think I've used it maybe one time. I don't have a setting spray that I found in my drawer, so I'm just going to use this one and spray my whole face. What I like to do is take a new damp beauty blender and just blend that in. I just stamp my face. I don't drag at all. I just stamp it to really set my whole face. It just makes your whole foundation, along with the powders and everything that you put on, just melt, and it doesn't look like you have like powder on your face or anything like that, which I love. And yeah, this is my finished look with everything I found in my beauty room that I have either not used at all, that have just been shoved in a drawer and pushed away and forgotten about, that I randomly came across and pulled out and gave a shot. And some I will be using in my makeup routine from now on, like the eyebrow pencil, and the concealer was another good one. Things I will not be using are the foundation, the Maybelline foundation. That was a no-go for me. Another one I liked and probably will be using more often is the Physicians Formula Priming Illuminating Base. It really applied well. It made my skin have a nice glow. So I like that one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you do like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see all my new videos coming out. I would really appreciate it. All right, guys, y'all have a blessed day. Mwah.